What's happening, internet? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Adrian, aka Fomex Cosplay. If you're new to my channel, I make a lot of cosplay tutorials, fan films, movie and TV reviews. If it's got anything to do with fandom, I'm probably doing it here. So if you like my content, please do leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe to my channel. Zack Snyder's Justice League gave us a look into what the DCEU could have been. In honor of it, and because I'm a few days too late to simply make a review, I decided that I was going to make Batman's Batarangs from the DCEU. Since this is a relatively easy piece to make, I just throw in my review here. So sit back, relax, and let's get creative. The first thing I did, as I always do, is I gathered reference images that I could find online. So I was looking at whatever replica Batarangs were being sold online. Those cost on average about 80 to 120 US dollars. They're all made of zinc alloy, but since I don't work in metal, this is made of craft foam. You're only going to use about 3 layers of craft foam per piece, 8.5 inches long and 3.5 inches high. If you want to make your own, I will be selling the templates once again on Etsy, so you can check out the link in the description down below. I also put instructions in the document there. Once I gathered my reference images, I then started sketching my own template. And then once I was satisfied with the measurements, I then cut it out and then transferred it onto the craft foam. You can just paste it on top of the craft foam and then cut around it, but that's not what I do. So you can see that there is the thinner inner layer as well as the central layer, which serves as the blade portions of the Batarang, and then I use another layer at the back, which is, well, the same as the first layer but reversed. After I cut these 3 layers out, I then glued them on top of each other, and then once I glued them in place, I cut out the black highlights found on the Batfleck Batarangs, which I was going to paint over later on. Once the pieces were all glued down, I then ran over it with a heat gun. You can use a hairdryer for that. I also cut out any excess pieces that stood out, which shouldn't have, and then I sealed over several of the joints again with additional hot glue, after which it was finally time to take it outside. Painting took the most time, as it often does for me. First thing I did was I painted it with the rubber seal spray paint just to make sure the quality stays. Sprayed that with about 2 layers. Then once that was done, I went over it again with mirror chrome spray paint, and once I sprayed it with mirror chrome, it looked really good, but it was way too shiny, and any wrong move with mirror chrome spray paint and it's gonna chip. So I had no choice but to over it again with clear coat. Kinda diminishes the shine but protects the paint that much more. Since I work outside, there's a lot of gravel flying around, so it kinda made this rough. Ideally, if you paint in a more controlled environment, it should be fine. After I went over several layers of black, chrome silver, and clear coat, I then went back inside, painted the highlights with black. I just wiped off the excess, and then that was it. Those were the Batarangs found in the DCEU, and in this particular case, in Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is a fairly easy project to do. It will probably take you 2 to 3 hours at most, but you are going to be painting this several times, and rather than watch paint dry, I do suggest that you watch the Snyder cut of Justice League. It's a highly recommend movie for me because it's superior to the 2017 version in every way. I made a cosplay for that one even before I went as Fomex Cosplay. I made the tactical Batman armor, which still holds up in this new version, especially now that he can block Parademon blasts using his gauntlets. To rate the movie, I first have to go over it, see how it compares to the 2017 version, see how it sets up a DCEU, which I would like to still see happen, and well, give my final rating on it. We see how Superman dies, and because his death leaves the Earth unprotected, the Mother Boxes call out the Darkseid and Apocalypse. The forces of Apocalypse then send Steppenwolf to go retrieve the Mother Boxes, which would help them conquer Earth. Steppenwolf makes quick work of the defenses on Themyscira, wrecks the Amazons, and then leaves. He then travels to Atlantis, where we see a British version of Mera, as well as more bronze-looking version of Atlantis rather than the high-tech highly modernized version we saw in the Aquaman movie, but these two versions don't really seem to reconcile as much. We'll see how they can tie that over in the future of DCEU, and based on my current count, the two for Steppenwolf, only one left, which is the human mother box, which is hiding in Victor Stone's closet. Going over to the League's plotline, Batman is busy trying to recruit Arthur Curry, who tells him to buzz off. We see Arthur shrug off everyone, including Volko. He's not a hero, he's just someone who wants to be left alone. Batman, meanwhile, is trying to be the hero that he promised Superman he would be, and he's trying to unite the League to protect the world from threats. This threat being Steppenwolf. Wonder Woman's there to help after she fends off a terror attack, and she sees Themyscira was under attack. She understands the signal and she brushes up on her ancient history, where she reveals that 5,000 years ago, the forces of man, the Greek gods, the Green Lanterns, the Atlanteans, and the Amazons all came together to whoop Darkseid's butt. I like how Ares delivers the final blow to Darkseid, because if Wonder Woman could defeat Ares and Ares defeated Darkseid, then technically the League stand a chance against Darkseid. The two realize the importance of trying to recruit the other members of the team. So far, we have Batman and Wonder Woman. Aquaman said no. Barry Allen immediately says yes. Then we come to Victor Stone, who originally says no. Victor eventually agrees when his father Silas is kidnapped, and the team eventually comes together, all five of them, after trying to attack Steppenwolf and rescue his hostages. Team barely make it out, and then they decide that they have to resurrect the very dead Superman. The team then come up with the plan to resurrect Superman at Star Labs using the mother box the same way that Cyborg was resurrected, and Barry volunteers the fact that he can enter into the Speed Force to generate enough power to do it. They manage to successfully resurrect Superman, and he goes amok on them the same way as he did in the theatrical cut, but Lois comes in to save all of them, and he takes her to Smallville. The team are then left to deal with the repercussions of activating the mother box when Steppenwolf attacks Star Labs, and Victor's dad Silas sacrifices himself to supercharge the mother box, which allows them to track the heat signature to the nuclear reactor where Steppenwolf and his parademons were based. He's been exiled by Darkseid for trying to help usurp the throne, and his reparations involve conquering 50,000 worlds, which is an impossible task, especially when he goes up against Earth's mightiest heroes. Superman goes off on his own personal journey to try to recapture his memories, as well as listen to the voices of his fathers, who give him solid pieces of advice. It's a very touching moment before he flies off wearing his new black suit. The team then head off to attack Steppenwolf's headquarters. Batman manages to breach, bringing down the entire field and rendering the entire skyline dark blue rather than the bright red it was in the theatrical cut. Batman leads the parademons away from the main group as they try to infiltrate to prevent him from bringing about the unity, or combining the three mother boxes together, which would scorch the earth. The League then kick massive butt. The team has several slow-mo shots, and they showcase their teamwork, which allows them to get close enough to the unity in order to break the mother boxes apart. Cyborg gets to work trying to tear the pieces off of each other, while Barry runs outside trying to generate enough force to allow them to propel Cyborg into the mother boxes himself. Steppenwolf comes about, and he tries attacking the team while they're doing it, and he succeeds. He manages to stop their plans and achieves the unity. The Flash then heals himself and runs into the Speed Force, turns back time, propels Cyborg into the mother boxes, which allows him to take over, push them apart, and Superman arrives just in time to stop Steppenwolf, and Superman and Cyborg manage to break the unity, thus saving the world. Aquaman stabs him right through his chest. Superman punches him through a boom tube that's being opened to Apocalypse, and before Steppenwolf can fly into the boom tube, Wonder Woman chops off his head. Darkseid stares at these humans who would dare oppose him, setting up for whatever the Snyderverse had planned. The team celebrate, and then we get to an epilogue where we see Superman's home being repurchased by Batman. Lois is pregnant. Victor makes peace with his dad. Barry makes his dad proud. Diana looks homeward. We'll probably see how she returns to Themyscira. And Batman ends up meeting with Martian Manhunter, who is setting up to become the 7th member of the Justice League. Meanwhile, the remaining human villains set up their storyline, Deathstroke meeting up with Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor reveals to Deathstroke Batman's true identity. We then move forward in time to the Nightmare timeline, where we see more of the disaster that befell Earth, which is now under Darkseid and evil Superman. Batman and Joker then have to mend fences in order to stop past Joker from killing Lois Lane. We see Superman arriving, and it basically ends with his laser eyes activating to kill off Team Batman. The movie has several main messages at this point. Being a team-up movie involves working together to achieve a common goal, but it also showcases the fact that you are not alone. There are people out there who are willing to be with you and help you out. And knowing the behind the scenes that went on with this movie, it's a very apt message. At the end of it, I was excited to see the rest of the Snyderverse, to see Justice League 2 and 3, to see the Batman Batfleck movie. Warner Brothers has a history of messing up behind the scenes. I hope they do continue to listen to fans. I like the way this movie came out. I like the 4:3 aspect ratio, different from the cinematic, allowed for more vertical action, especially with all the flying going on, with all the giant battle axes flying around. The music choice was as varied as Who Killed Captain Alex, but I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. It helped tie the whole movie together. It was balancing several different characters with several different tones and several different arcs going on. This version was a lot more bleak than subsequent DCEU movies, so I don't know how they'll manage to tie that back in with the way Atlanteans were treated in the Aquaman movie. So we'll just have to wait and see. But overall, I enjoyed this version of the movie. It had to be this long to insert everything Zack Snyder wanted, but it definitely did not need 10 different slow-mo shots. So definitely it could have been shorter, probably down, but I enjoyed it. It kind of rekindled my passion for the DCEU, and hopefully they can continue with the Snyderverse in some way. So I give this movie a clear 9 out of 10, which is the rating I give most things, but I only review what I like, so bear with me. That being said, that was my review of Zack Snyder's Justice League. The characters took center stage in this one, but it was very well balanced. It was different, definitely, especially from the MCU movies. Overall, I enjoyed it. Definitely superior to the one that we saw in theaters. Aside from that, this was my tutorial for how to make these Batarangs. Very easy. You can do it in one afternoon. Please do leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe, and until next time, props to you and costumes too. Peace.